Oh my god, I'm so excited to make this video! Hello everybody, welcome back to Tom Reads Things. My name is Tom, I hope you are all very well. Today I am super excited because I am recording my Victober TBR! So for those of you who don't know, Victober was announced a couple of weeks ago. Victober is a month-long read-along hosted in the month of October, where you basically just read a load of Victorian literature and have a wonderful time. Victober is hosted by 4 wonderful booktubers, Katie from Books and Things, Kate from Kate How, Lucy from Lucy the Reader, and Ange from Beyond the Pages. I will try and link their announcement videos down below, where they announce Victober officially, and they also talk about the different challenges, reading challenges that form part, oh sorry, goodness, what was that? Form part of Victober this year. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this. I've been counting down the months and the weeks until Victober. It's just such a brilliant thing to do, and yeah, I can't wait really. So the idea is that you don't necessarily have to follow the challenges themselves, but they give some good kind of hints and tips as to what to read if you're feeling stuck. But as long as you read sort of some Victorian literature, then you're taking part, so it's all good. So oh my god, I'm so excited. Without further ado, shall we get into the TBR, shall we? One of the books, before I get into the actual challenges, that I am going to read for Victober is Hard Times by Charles Dickens. So I'm just finishing up Dombey and Son by Charles Dickens. It has taken me a month to read. It's a 1,000-page book. It's been brilliant, loved it, but goodness me, is it long. So this is one of his slightly shorter novels. I think this is, my version here is around the sort of 300-page mark, so very digestible for a Charles Dickens book, really. I haven't read this before, so I'm really excited for this. I'm doing it as a buddy read with a very lovely, wonderful person. However, I won't say who it is just yet because they haven't announced their Victober TBR yet, and I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to give away any spoilers. I'm very much looking forward to getting into this. My understanding is that this is set in the north of England, and it revolves around a gentleman who is not very nice to some children that he looks after. That's kind of the gist of what I've heard about it. So it's given me all kinds of Nicholas Nickleby vibes, which, do you know what? The more I think about Nicholas Nickleby, the more it's becoming one of my favourite ever books, let alone one of my favourite Dickens books. It's becoming one of my favourite ever books. I just bloody love that book. Yes, I'm really looking forward to doing this as a buddy read. I've only done one buddy read before, and that was with the wondrous Simon from Savage Reads. That was As Meat Loves Salt, and I loved that experience of doing that buddy read. So I'm really looking forward to getting into this. Let's crack on with the challenges, shall we? So the first challenge that I'm going to be talking about is the challenge from Lucy the Reader. Her challenge was to read an underrated piece of literature written or published, I can't remember, in the same year as your favourite novel or piece of literature, I think. So my favourites are Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. This was published in 1847. And David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, and this was published in 1849/1850. So I'm not going to lie, I have really struggled with this challenge to find an underrated piece of literature written in the same, oh goodness me, it's very heavy, David Copperfield, written in the same year as these two. I've been able to find great pieces that I wanted to read. However, I couldn't find them in the Black Penguin Classics edition, and it's stressing me out. It is stressing me out. I can't bear to buy. I've got all, look at that shelf. It just looks so gorgeous. I can't bear to buy another version. God. Let's talk about what I'm going to be reading as part of this challenge, shall we? So, an underrated piece of literature written in the same year as Jane Eyre is Emily Bronte, The Collected Poems. Now, I know what you're going to say. This isn't underrated. However, Compare it to Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, it is underrated. So a lot of people obviously talk about Wuthering Heights, but not a lot of people talk about, well, people do talk about her poetry, but they don't talk about specific poems. So my plan is to find some specific poems written in 1847. Most of them were written in 1846, which is so annoying. But my specific challenge is to find some that were written in 1847 and read those. I'll probably end up reading all of this though, because it's a poem collection, so obviously it won't take as long as if this was a novel. I've read some of of Emily Bronte's poetry before. It takes its inspiration from the surrounding countryside from where she lived, the Yorkshire moors and everything. So really looking forward to getting into this. And because that's a poem rather than a novel, I thought I'd bolster it up with another sort of set of poems written in that year as well. Now these are written by an American poet and storyteller, so it doesn't really fit the challenge, but I'm just going to read it anyway, because look at this gorgeous edition of the collected tales and poems of Edgar Allan Poe. So I'm going to read some of his poems and tales that were written in 1847. Ulalame, I think that's how you pronounce it, is one of them. But this is just such a gorgeous book. Look, it's just absolutely beautiful. Oh, it doesn't have any pictures in it. Oh, that's gutting, isn't it? But yeah, it's an absolutely gorgeous edition, so I cannot wait to get to those. Now, the next challenge was from Kate over at Kate Howe, and Kate's challenge was to reread a Victorian novel that you really enjoyed. So for me, there are two. I'm not really sure which one I'm going to go for. I think the decision will be based around how much time I have. So the first one would be Middlemarch by George Eliot. So I have tried a lot of other George Eliot novels. I've tried Silas Marner and some others and didn't really get on with them so well. But Middlemarch I read and I completed. I didn't DNF it, and really enjoyed it. I think I watched Kate's Victober announcement channel, which again I'll link down below. And she was talking about Middlemarch and how she got so much more out of it on the second reading. She got so much more of the sort of characterization through in the second reading of it. And actually, I think because I was reading it for the first time, I was focusing on trying to follow the story and trying to just make sure I was following what was going on. And I think because I know that now, in the second reading of it, I'll be able to focus a lot more on the writing and the characterization. So I may give this a go. It's massive. Again, I think it's around 1,000 pages, maybe not quite that long, but yeah, it's very long and we've only got a month. So I may get to that. However, the second choice, which is a lot shorter, which I haven't read in years, probably since I was about 21, and it is an absolute favourite of mine. I love it, and it was one of the first things that made me sort of fall in love with the Victorians, and that is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. This is such a good book. It is so atmospheric, it's so creepy, it has Turn of the Screw vibes all over it. Does Turn of the Screw have Dr. Jekyll and Mr Hyde vibes all over it? Don't know. Either way, it's bloody brilliant. It is only very short, which made me think, you know, I can either go for an 800-page book or I can go for like a 250-page book. It's gonna come down to time, isn't it, guys? Really, ultimately. Thank you, Cafe. I'm really looking forward to getting to this. It's just so atmospheric and so beautifully written and very creepy and perfect for autumn and October and Victober. So the next challenge is Katie's challenge from Books and Things, and her challenge was to read a novel under 250 pages or one over 500 pages. So again, I think time is going to be a big factor in this. I had wanted to read Shirley by oh my god, who is Shirley written by? Charlotte Bronte. Crikey O'Reilly. However, that's like 1,000,000 pages long as well, so I doubt I will get to that, but I am so looking forward to this. The book that I have chosen is under 250 pages, and that is Dr. Wurtle's School by Anthony Trollope. So I have always seen, when I've been browsing the Anthony Trollope books, I've always seen this and thought, God, that looks bloody brilliant. But then I've always thought, no, I have to get through the Barchester series before I stray into his other books. However, this is a perfect excuse to pick this up. I love this cover. I don't know why, I just love it. So Victorian. Katie recommended this video on her announcement video. Katie recommended this book on her announcement video, and it just looks absolutely wonderful. I do believe that it is about Dr. Wardle, who runs a school, and it is about a couple that work at his school, I believe, and he finds out a secret about them. So yeah, really looking forward to getting into this. I absolutely love Anthony Trollope. I've read The Warden, I've read Barchester Towers, and I've read The Way We Live Now, and I absolutely adored all of them. So I'm really looking forward to reading more of Anthony Trollope's work, and Victober is a perfect time to be doing so. Now, the last challenge is from Ange at Beyond the Pages, and her challenge was to read a novel by a Victorian, or sorry, not a Victorian author. What am I talking about? Her challenge was to read a novel written by a female author from the Victorian times, and you get an extra bonus point for reading a novel by a female author that is new to you. Now, I talk, not a huge amount, but I talk a lot on this channel about classics that I've read. I really love reading classics and Victorian literature. I talk a lot about them on this channel, and I think it will come to a massive surprise that this author is a new to me author. I haven't read any of their work before. So for this challenge, I am reading, get ready for a literary gasp, I am reading North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. That's correct. I haven't ever read any Elizabeth Gaskell before, and I am so excited about getting to North and South. I've never read any Elizabeth Gaskell before. Shock, horror, I know. Kate from Kate Howe will probably be like, what? How is this possible? I know that Elizabeth Gaskell wrote her favourite novel of all time. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to getting to this. This I have, I understand from Katie over at Books and Things, is a bit like Pride and Prejudice with Mills and social commentary or criticism or something. So yeah, really, really looking forward to getting to this. Again, what a gorgeous cover. I'm really, really, really hope that I get on with Elizabeth Gaskell and her writing style. I can't see that I won't, because so many people rave and rave and rave about her. But I really, really, really hope I get on with her writing, because she has such what looks like such an interesting list of books that she's written, which I really want to get into. Wives and Daughters, Mary Barton, Cranford. Yeah, loads of really interesting books that I definitely want to read. So really, really, really looking forward to this Elizabeth Gaskell, North and South. So that's it. That's my Victober TBR video. If you haven't guessed already, I'm so excited for it. Thank you again to all the hosts for hosting. Do comment down below. Let me know what you're going to be reading. Let me know if you've read any of those books. Let me know if you have any more suggestions for the challenge where you have to read an underrated book written in the same year as your favourite. For me, that is 1847 for Jane Eyre, or David Copperfield 1849/1850. Do let me know if you have any recommendations for me on those in the comments down below. So yeah, it's nearly here. It's like, what is it, 2 weeks away? So exciting. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Thanks, bye.